All right, so this is how I lost $539 with 98 cents trading the Nasdaq market this morning. My psych was completely screwed. I did not have a clear head in a sense. I don't blame it on anything. I just had a hard time reading the markets, and I ended up paying for it. I ended up taking stupid trades. I took like about 4 or 5, which are not good. Um, the number is not good, but anyways, the trades itself weren't good either. Um, and yeah, I took everything. I took long shorts trying to get ahead of the market, but I paid the price and learned that that is basically not possible. With that being said, so coming into the morning, to be honest with you, I did have a very short bias. The reason why is we did have this intermediate 1 hour low, 1 hour high, my bad. And we did have this unmitigated 1 hour fair value gap as well. If we move on to the lower time frame, we did have this 15-minute unmitigated fair value gap here that we could potentially use to go lower. And my draws was this sell side, as well as London lows right over here. Now, ES at the time had already created an SMT with London lows, so this was going to be a draw that probably I wouldn't have targeted, but for sure this sell side was definitely going to be a target for today. With that being said, right, at market open, we did distribute higher, and we did have a 1-minute fair value gap created. Again, I did take that, right? I had set my stop loss right here, and I wanted to take it towards London lows. So 285 to make 357. So basically 1 to 2 RR. And anyways, so what ended up happening? So we ended up distributing lower. However, what we ended up actually chopping up, right? I was in profit for a second, and I had noted, well, we started distributing lower, and I was like, you know what, this is gonna drop, so let me go ahead and start reducing some risk on my position. So, oh my god, what did I do? Okay, so yeah, I was like, you know what, let me start risking a bit less on my position, get it closer to break even, because ES was reaching that point, and I ended up just going break even too early. Not breaking even too early, but like reducing my risk, and I ended up getting stopped out, as you guys can see right there. So the execution went something like that. Ultimately, we ended up distributing, right? And we ended up going to my break-even spot, and I would have gone break-even, but if I hadn't moved my stop loss. But yeah, that was the first loss for today. Again, we had completely respected that 15 minutes, so I was again looking for another re-entry lower. Since I had noticed that ES hadn't swept this low that I was targeting, the initial low. So yeah, we ended up having, I believe, a 2-minute. Yeah, we ended up having a 2-minute here. There we go. We ended up having this 2-minute present itself, right? And I was essentially looking for a short towards potentially London lows. So I risked like 237 to make 282. And ultimately I got absolutely cooked on that. And at that point, I had already lost 2 trades, so I was like, okay, I need to kind of calm down. I need to see what price wants to do. And yeah, so yeah, that was a plan, right? And I started looking at the higher time frame, and I started seeing that we had this unfilled 1 hour fair value gap as a draw, so I was potentially looking at that. Go ahead and mark that out. We had also swept this internal high, intermediate high, and I was potentially looking to perhaps, well, no, I was looking to target the unfilled 1 hour, and then if anything, I was going to try to target these, but you know, I didn't have high conviction. I really did want shorts, right? So that being said, price ended up chopping for a bit, and then we just ended up tapping into that 1 hour. I was looking for that short, but did not get squat, right? And then we ended up tapping into this 5 minute, and I was like, okay, so potentially we could you know, we can go higher and at least resweep this 1 hour high. Oh, we had 5 minutes on, but again, I had conviction on this first one, so I ended up taking this 1 minute long. So I ended up doing something like this. Quick 1-to-1. And yeah, I got cooked on that again. So yeah. So yeah, that's where I ended up kind of not calling it, right? But anyways, we ended up just displacing higher. We didn't have any retracements whatsoever. We just kept on making what is it? Just new highs and newer highs, and you know, I was expecting for that retracement. I thought we would get a retracement right here, but just kept on distributing. And then we had hit a unfilled 4 hour on ES, right? And sorry, on NQ, and on ES we had already taken that 4 hour like a while back. So I was potentially looking for a short off that position towards the unfilled 30. Where is it? So like right here. Let me go ahead and move this, move that, remove that. And let me show you how that worked out. I think the executions are still on. There you go. Yeah, so I ended up taking this 1 minute CISD and tried taking it all the way towards this either this 15 minute or the unfilled 30. Excuse me. But I ended up getting break even on that, and yeah, that's where we stand. Yeah, we're close to blowing the account, right? And I'm trying not to freak out, but you know, it's kind of hard. But yeah, I mean, I guess that shows me that, hey, you know, you don't have the consistency yet to do what you want to do yet. You still need to gain that experience, and you know, I guess I'm not ready for that payout yet. You know, I have to work harder, I have to be more patient, I have to think about the trades a bit more before I even go in, you know, make sure that whether this follows the model or not, because some of them, I'll be honest with you, like that re-entry didn't follow the model or the usual trades I take when I'm back testing, right? And then also when it comes to like discount and premium 5 minutes or fair value gaps, I usually take the premium when I have to wait for the discounted. But you know, it's a lot of psych, you know, and it's something that I've always struggled with when it comes to psychology. I've always struggled with psychology in any aspect, you know. I'm still working on it. But yeah, I mean, I guess now it's just a time for reflection. It's a time to just think, meditate in a sense about what happened, and yeah, just we move on forward and let's see what happens. So catch you guys later.